this wedding. And again, I thank you all for being here. Now, Jamie, Kevin, marriage is one of the most beautiful things in the world you can choose to participate in. Congratulations to the both of you for making that choice today. Now, you're welcome. Now, with that being said, I'm going to let you know that marriage is definitely one of the firmest of foundations that God has for the both of you to have some real growth and fulfillment in this long life together. Marriage is also going to be one of the most incredible adventures you've ever taken, and you will be lucky enough to take that with your best friend. But most importantly, marriage is, it always will be, your responsibility. And that's truly where my job as a minister starts, is you have to make sure my couples know what they're getting themselves into, so to speak. And what this means to you is that from this moment forward, you promise to take care of each other. You promise to be there for one another. You promise to love each other. Now, I'll go out on a limb and guess you have probably already do that, right? Right. How long have you guys been together for? 5 years. That's at the about time wedding mark, so I am glad you are here. And all that means is you guys have had plenty of practice. Yes. Now, I'm still going to mention this to you, though, because the reality is marriage is a tough job at times. Definitely going to be days where it may feel like a big responsibility to you, but that's how it's supposed to feel. It's one of the ways that marriage kind of keeps you in line throughout your years together. So don't ever let the feeling discourage you. Instead, though, if you ever feel the weight, I'd ask you to focus on the fact that there are many responsibilities you take on throughout your entire life. And if you made a list, this marriage is going to sit right on top of that. Because this will now bring you guys the most rewards. This will offer you the greatest love. And when you put all your effort into it, this is one with the best ending. So trust me when I tell you, this is always worth all your efforts. Now, responsibilities aside, also some changes that head your way when you say I do. Mainly in the love that you start with. You know, as I said before, I know you love each other. We've been together 5 years. We are all standing here on the Las Vegas Boulevard watching you profess this love. You've come a long way. I'm confident that it's there. But whether you believe it or not, that love is going to continue to grow. It grows every day. And it grows so much so that the people around you, take a look out there, your family and your friends, they all get to feel this love too. And that is what makes marriage so special. Because it's not just you guys that are getting the benefit of this, but it's the people that matter most, the ones who made you who you are. They all benefit as well. Now, the only other thing that might change besides this is everything else. Because really, marriage makes you better. It makes you stronger. It makes you more confident. It makes you complete. It makes you one. That list goes on and on. So I hope, should anybody ever ask you if getting married changed you, that you always smile politely, let them know most certainly did. Now, in a moment, you will get to recite vows to each other. You will exchange rings. You will give each other that kiss. And then off to the neon sunset you go, officially married. You guys ready for that? Indeed. Is everybody else here ready for that? They've all been waiting 5 years as well, too, I see it. Now, as you head off to start these official adventures as husband and wife, another thing is also for certain. And that is that these adventures are going to take you everywhere together. And when I mean everywhere, I mean everywhere. They're going to take you to the tops of the highest mountains. They can take you to the bottom of the lowest valley. Because that is what life and adventure is all about. Ups and downs. But keep in mind that no matter where it decides to take you, together is where you're going to be. Hand in hand with your true love. She's not letting those go. Hand in hand together is your greatest strength. That's how you take on everything that comes your way. So, now you know if you stumble, she's right with you, ready to catch you. You know that if you fall, he's the first to lift you right back up. Now, the valleys are important to you, though. As tough as they can be, when you're down there, you're going to learn about respect, commitment, forgiveness for each other. And those are all very important ingredients for a long and lasting marriage. And then together, you'll make it back to your mountaintops, where you're going to celebrate that victory, but more importantly, you're going to gain perspective. And what that means to you is from the top of the mountain, you get to see across all the valleys that you made it through. And from way up top, those valleys don't look so tough anymore. In fact, you realize that whatever happened in those valleys isn't what defines this love. What truly defines this love is who you chose to be in all the valleys with. And the person you chose, coincidentally, is standing right in front of you. Now, the most important ingredient for a long-lasting marriage, of course, is love. And if I ask you, we love each other, you definitely love each other. But if I ask you to describe what love was, that's where it gets a little more difficult. So what I'd like to do is read a scripture for you guys. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 through 8. It tells us that love endures with patience and serenity. Love is kind and thoughtful and is not jealous or envious. Love does not brag and is not proud or arrogant. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not provoked nor overly sensitive and easily angered. And it does not take into account a wrong endured. It does not rejoice at injustice, but it rejoices with the truth when right and truth prevail. Love bears all things, regardless of what comes, believes all things, looking for the best in each one, hopes all things, remaining steadfast during difficult times, endures all things without weakening. Now, that's a pretty spot-on description of what love is. But whether you know it or not, that's more than just a description. What that is your secret manual on how to stay married forever. Because when the time comes where you may be in the valley, you need a little light to show your way out, I'm going to ask you to find that scripture. And I want you to read it. But instead of reading it as it is, I would ask you to replace the word love with your own name and then read it. And you will find you have every tool you need to make sure this love stays as strong as the day you bonded it. Now, I think it's time to get to those vows. Now, vows are declarations of love. It's like a verbal promise of the heart. And the ring is what we typically use to seal the promise. Now, you both have a ring to give. So if you would, take that ring and place it into the palm of your right hand for a moment. And hold those hands out. I want you to look at these. Now, these are your quintessential symbols of the love you share, the marriage you're entering into, commitment itself. That is your wedding ring. And when it's on your hand, they all understand. People definitely recognize that symbol. But the funny part is, that's not why it's there. The opposite, actually. That ring is specifically there just for you two. It is specifically there to remind you about who you love, to remind you about who you married, to remind you about this exact moment. But my personal favorite thing about this ring is that it's going to be easy enough to be with you, to remind you every day. So let it. And I hope when you look down in your hand and you see that ring, that it always brings you right back to the spot, right back to all the words you're about to say. Now, Kevin, I got a question for you. Do you take Jamie to be your lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day on, for richer for poor, in sickness and in health, to love her, honor her, and cherish her as long as you both shall live? I do. She liked that answer. Go ahead and place that ring on her left hand, and as you do, repeat after me.
With this ring, I choose you with equal love as a mirror from your true self. I'll give you all my love and devotion forever and ever.
Two evers are always better than one. Don't forget that, Kevin. If you would give that ring a kiss, seal it with your love. Perfect. Now, Jamie, you take him to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day on, for rich or for poor, in sickness and in health, to love him, honor him, and cherish him as long as you both shall live. Place that ring on his left hand, and as you do, repeat after me.
I choose you with equal love as a mirror for your true self. I give you all my love and devotion forever and ever.
She gave you a couple looks. She went in for the kill right there. You saw that, right? Take a little half step back. Get a little closer to her. Don't be scared. This is about to be your wife in just a second. A little closer. This is a good part. You don't want to be far away from this. Hold hands. Big, deep breath. Now, from here on out. I hope every day continues to strengthen and deepen the bond that you just formed with each other. But I also hope that bond always remains full of tenderness and grace, because this connection that you share with one another truly deserves all that respect. But the most important thing is to make sure you work hard every day to meet the promise you just made to each other with the exact same love that you can see in each other's eyes right now. And so now, having committed to each other from God and all these witnesses with a declaration of your vows and an exchange of ring, and so, by the power vested in me by the state of Nevada, it gives me great pleasure to let you know that October 14th is your new anniversary. Don't forget that. I now pronounce you married, and you may kiss as husband and wife. Congratulations, and God bless you both. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Kevin and Jamie Briner. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our ceremony. But they're going to come back and take some pictures, so hang tight. And again, thank you all for joining them on this special day.